This video is going to be a hard one for me to make because it's on the topic gluttony. And as a gamer and someone that, sincerely being transparent, struggles with food, my self-control when it comes to food, to be honest, is low. And it's something I want to grow on. And maybe as a gamer, you can relate. Today, we're reacting to a video from Bryce Crawford talking about the topic of gluttony. He is talking with a fitness and health expert. And today, I'm looking to learn. I'm looking to grow. I need to change my habits. I need to make better decisions. Ladies and gentlemen, we're diving on in. Let's do this thing.
They go to a crumble cookie or a McDonald's after church. That is not much different than going to a liquor store or even going to a strip club.
What? Bro, he's coming at me hard.
At age 30. That's not true at all. That is just data that is skewed because Western medicine is amazing. It's a godsend.
Bro,
if you're watching or listening to this right now,
he's holding back, no punches.
To come to the Bryce Crawford live podcast tour in 2026. We're bringing it to Australia, New Zealand, and America at the front end of 2026. We're coming to Brisbane, Melbourne, Sydney, Australia. We're coming to Auckland, New Zealand, Phoenix, Arizona, New York City, Pennsylvania,
any crumble cake lovers?
Alabama, Atlanta, Jacksonville, Florida, Charlotte, North Carolina, Sacramento, California.
Bro, low key, I would actually love to do one like a tour like that one day. Go around and preach. Do XP church services in person, share the gospel, invite gamers, pop up LAN centers would be dope, dude.
Los Angeles, California. And if you're a Mormon and you want to learn about Jesus and not Joseph Smith, we're going to be in Salt Lake City, Utah as well.
Bro, that's so crazy and I respect it. Bro, I'm coming to preach the true gospel in your own homeland. Yes.
Oh, a lot of them is sold out, but there's some that have low tickets, and we want to make sure you get your seats. So go to jesusinthestreet.org/tour. Get your tickets. Come out to the live podcast show because I believe that God is preparing a word specifically
that was
for each
peak.
city we visit. So go to
I respect that, dude.
/tour. Get your tickets, and we'll see you guys in 2026 for the live podcast tour. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Bryce Crawford podcast. I'm Bryce, and today
I'm ready to learn.
I am so excited for today's guest. We have Santa Cruz Medicinals.
Let's go.
How you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling great. I'm so happy you're
Dude, he looks in shape. I already feel convicted.
in town. You're not
We
too
just
far
started.
from me, so we're trying to make this happen, and I'm just really happy to be here.
Dude, I'm so glad you came on. Thanks for taking time. I was starting to tell you earlier, I'm currently in my fitness journey, about 4.5 months in.
Dude, good for you, bro.
My diet looks significantly better than it did before. Working out consistently, kind of creating these disciplines.
Now, to give context for me, I am 5'6", so I'm not very tall, but I am very short. Short king, hallelujah. A couple months ago, I was 230 pounds. I went on the carnivore diet for about 3 months. I lost 40 pounds. Then life hit us. My wife got multiple surgeries. Life kind of got crazy for us. She's still in the middle of that. And to be honest, I just fell off the wagon. I've put about 15 pounds back on. Lost 40, put 15 back on. And I need to get back into it. But I'll be honest, I've been struggling. Just struggling. Need to get my food in check. I need accountability. I need help. And I want to learn because, to be honest, gluttony is just really not talked about in the American church. I've never preached a sermon on it once. And maybe I should. But first, I have to get in control of my own life.
And it's been so unique and so fun. And so I'm so glad that you're here to kind of educate us and kind of dive into it because I don't know a lot about health. I think it's easy to ignore it, and I think gluttony
it is easy to ignore,
and dishonoring God with what you consume in your body and fitness and things like that is so neglected, ignored, misunderstood. And I just think you're an expert and passionate, and so I'm so pumped you're here, bro. Thanks.
Teach me, bro.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna give people a lot that they can take with them today and use. So there's going to be direct stuff that people, after listening to this podcast, will be able to turn the podcast off after it's done and go do.
Let's go.
Like take action on their body. And I think it's really interesting you say that because one of the things that I'd also love to dive into is I just think we shouldn't, as Christians, as people who believe in God and Jesus, disrespect our own body. And I think there's lots of evidence in the Bible of that.
Guys, put a 5 in chat if you feel like you could benefit from this video. Here's me putting an actual 5. Bro, I need it, dude. I need it. Your boy likes food too much, dude. Real talk. Real talk.
And that's why I'm excited to talk to you and learn more about that. But that's been something, health has been something that's been getting me back into my faith.
Wow.
And I think...
Wow.
It's sort of...
Notice it didn't say my faith has been getting me back into my health. You said my health has been getting me back into my faith. Wow.
Unfortunate that we still have today. I was talking with a friend, and it's like there's still people that leave church and they go to a crumble cookie or McDonald's after church. I want to get people today and convince them that that is not much different than going to a liquor store after church or even going to a strip club. I'm not kidding. I think it should be viewed in a similar vein. Now, I'm not saying
I'm ready for the hot
you can never
take.
eat McDonald's, you can never eat crumble cookie, but if you are someone who is not healthy or using it in a way where you are managing it, it's very bad.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm a stress eater. I use food to bring myself comfort when I'm stressed. Yeah.
Okay, so that was actually gonna be one of my first questions for you. Is growing up, I was never really a sweet eater. I never had the sweet tooth. My brother had the sweet tooth, so I never drank a lot of soda. I was mainly like a sweet tea guy every now and then, water, and then would have something sweet once every now and then. As I got older, I started
How's the audio
enjoying
now?
more things. But you're not saying that it's necessarily wrong to eat those things every now and then, or in maintenance, I guess you would say.
Yeah, I think
Moderation.
it really depends on the person. So, like I was just telling you, we're at this crazy jiu-jitsu event. There's these pro athletes there, and I was having a conversation with a pro UFC fighter, and he's like, "Hey, like, you know, I do like to have some sugar after I train." I'm like, "That's totally fine." It's a different conversation versus somebody who is 400 pounds, you know, and extremely overweight and putting their body and health at risk consuming sugar. You know, the traditional guidelines say something around 20 to 25 grams of processed sugar a day. You shouldn't get more than that. And people are going astronomically over that amount.
Whoa.
And a really interesting thing, I mean, I've been getting back into my Bible.
Yeah.
People like you and Forrest have really had me reopen my Bible, and we can get into that whole journey.
Yes.
But Corinthians 6:19-20, use your body to honor God.
Yep.
So what are we really doing if we are disrespecting our body by being unhealthy? And that's why I want to see more healthy Christians. I think it should be a big thing. And then we get into sugar. Proverbs 25:27 basically says don't.
Dude, this opens up so much conversation that I wonder if they'll touch on. There is a lot of controversy, and if he doesn't touch on it, I'll share a couple thoughts. But there's a lot of controversy if pastors who are like very, 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 very overweight and don't have like a health condition to explain it away, basically they just ate too much, should they be disqualified from ministry? And should they not allowed to be a pastor? There's a lot of controversy around that topic.
Eat too much honey. Don't eat too much honey or always want praise. Now, honey is mentioned over 62 times in the Bible. So I actually had you get me some honey.
Some raw honey.
Yeah, some raw honey. I think it's just an amazing food. But if we can extrapolate that to modern society, what would that really mean? Don't overconsume honey.
Yeah.
Don't overconsume sugar. Don't overconsume things. And I think that's a huge problem we have in this country today.
I think so too. I think overconsumption, like people going all in on the extremes, that's definitely a big problem. Like I even subconsciously like fell into that was when I got out of the amazing love and comfort of my home, and my mom's cooking some nice Southern cooking, the green beans, the steak, the whole 9 yards. And then I come to LA and I don't know how to cook. It's easy for me to say, oh, I'm just going to get Cane's twice a day, or, oh, I'm just going to get this times a day. And it wasn't until, seriously, I remember about a year and a half I was in LA. I looked at myself in the mirror one day when I was going to get in the shower, and I almost wanted to cry.
Yeah.
Not really out of insecurity, but it was just more of like I can't believe I've let myself look like this. I wrestled for 7 years. I shared that with you. I was in great shape even before I was a believer. And now as a believer, I started to realize kind of this idea that you're bringing to the table of like, if I'm choosing to not honor God with what I eat and with fitness and with health, then I'm basically slapping God
Ooh, let me update that schedule. That's my bad. I made it. I just never changed the graphic.
in the face and saying that I'm not grateful for the body he gave me.
Absolutely.
And so that's been kind of like my big wake up call. It's like, what does this look like? How do you do this? And even on the road, creating the discipline of like traveling a lot and going.
It's hard on the road, man.
Right, I need to work out. I need to count my calories, my macros, my protein, and like do that. And that's been a challenge, but it's been rewarding, you know? And so, man, I'm just, again, like I'm super pumped about this. And I have a lot of people I know that I'm excited for them to listen to this too.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah. And you know, I really, love how you just have a deep knowledge of the Bible. And so I was like looking into a lot of these things before this episode, and discipline comes up a lot in the Bible. And I really think this is where people can start their fitness journey if they're listening to this right now and they are.
And this is where it comes down to, it's about discipline and self-control, which is a fruit of the Spirit. And it's something I really want to grow into myself more. I have a lot of discipline in my life in certain areas, and I lack discipline in my life in others, but I want to continue to be more well-rounded to represent my faith well.
Overweight, or they just are having some health issue. Maybe it's a lack of energy, or maybe they've been in shape like you have, and then they're like, I want to get back into shape. And a lot of it does come from discipline. And now one of the easiest things people can do to rewire that discipline, and I talk about it a lot, is to have a brief morning routine. So like people need to wake up, and this is where prayer and gratitude can really be, it can be an amazing time to do that.
Yeah.
But also starting to get the body moving, getting outside, getting some sunlight, and doing, I call a 10-minute mobility routine is one of the best things you can do. So every single morning I wake up and I hydrate, I do my prayer, I do my gratitude outside. I just get into my, best self.
Yeah.
And then I go do my 10-minute mobility and stretching routine. And I've been doing that for over a decade.
No way.
Yeah. And it's one of the best things you can do because it just sets your day up.
And is your stretching, like, is that just like you do the same stretches every day, just full body stretches? Do you do any like that breathing stuff? Like you know Wim Hof, how he does those deep breathing. Do you ever do that stuff?
Yes, I have
too?
various breathing techniques that I practice and do to give people something usable today. In the morning, you could do some deep, hard breaths. In the morning, you want your cortisol to actually go up. People think of cortisol as some bad thing. In the morning, your natural cortisol rhythm should rise and then fall throughout the day. So to tap into that in the morning, I do like to do some hard breaths, I like to bounce around, do some mobility. I have the whole routine somewhere on my YouTube, but it's a variety of stretches and foam rolling and mobility routine that I've just kind of, you're traveling a lot, you're sitting a lot, you're in planes, you're in planes, trains, automobiles to spread the good word. Yeah. So your hips are getting tight, your low back's getting tight, your shoulders are hunched forward. So I just sort of undo some of that in the morning and get to my best self.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then in the night, I do a more calm, stretching mobility routine, maybe while I'm watching some TV with my wife, it's just, I'm chilling. And then through there, before bed, I do relaxation breaths. And how you do that is you simply start to exhale longer than you inhale. So anybody can go on YouTube and type in 4-7-8 breathing. That's probably the most basic guided breathing there is to relax. That brings your heart rate down. And so when people have insomnia or they struggle with this stuff, I'm like, do 10 minutes of 4-7-8 breathing where you're breathing in for 4, you're holding for 7, you're breathing out for 8. That reliably brings your heart rate down. And then, do your prayer.
So you said breathe in for 4, hold for 7, and exhale for 8.
Keep artificial light low, and you'll see these things that people struggle with, like insomnia, go away.
Wow. Well, my brain is just in so many questions
this,
right
dude.
now.
I'm extremely passionate about all this stuff.
Well, bro, I think that's the best, and I'm so excited. I think, man, whenever I think about Christianity, like, yes, it's spiritual. We believe in a cosmic God who created everything that exists outside of time and space. But something like honoring God with your body takes a lot of practical action steps.
Yeah,
so I love that this episode is going to have a lot of practical stuff. And, before you were coming on, when I was looking into gluttony in particular in the Bible, it's oftentimes associated with idolatry. And I don't think people realize that when they're dishonoring God with their body, that they're actually worshiping the very thing that they're dishonoring God with their body with. So if I'm dishonoring God with my health, then I'm worshiping the food that I'm eating because I'm turning to it for comfort. I'm turning it for satisfaction. And I remember the first month of my health journey when I began to eat clean. I didn't eat any like sort of carb. I don't know if that was good or bad, but I was just eating like meat and veggies, basically grilled chicken, veggies, whatever. Well, after the first month, I had my first bite of a sweet something.
Yeah.
And it messed me up.
Yep.
And then I remember I had my first day or two that I got out of my workout rhythm when I was traveling and just crazy sleep schedule. And it was once I was healthy, my body hurt when I wasn't being healthy. But my body got so acclimated to the unhealthy lifestyle and the processed food I was eating that after, it sucked the first month getting it out of my body.
Yeah.
But then when I even just got out of the routine of like, I didn't run one day.
Yeah.
My body, like, I didn't feel right. And now it's become this weird thing where it's like, if I don't work out or run or do my routine, like I bet you've been doing it for a decade. If you,
Bro, it's so true. When I used to be super, super fit and had a really strict, like healthy lifestyle, working out 5-6 days a week, eating right, you almost couldn't not work out. Like and if you did, your body, like you could feel it. You're like, something isn't right today. I didn't feel my body the way it's used to. But then the other happens. Whatever your body becomes dependent on, it relies more on. So you get like sugar hooked. You don't have sugar for like a day. Your body's like, dude, what's wrong with me? But your body starts depending on what you feed it most. And so when you start feeding it the bad stuff, that's when it gets really bad.
miss a breathing or a stretching, bro,
sure.
I bet your body feels so weird.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because that was an indicator going, this is how I was designed. I was designed to glorify God with my body in a healthy way. I was designed to do that. So like, let me zoom out for a minute for you. Like where are you from? Where'd you grow up? Have you always been passionate about health? Like let us dive into that.
Absolutely. So I grew up in the Bay Area, California. I grew up in Palo Alto and then moved to Santa Cruz eventually. And that's why the company is called Santa Cruz Medicinals.
Yeah.
Started it there. And we have the other company, Santa Cruz Paleo. So that's the name.
And what's the difference between the two? Medicinals.
Yeah,
and
Santa Cruz
paleo?
Medicinals is overall the brand name. And then Santa Cruz Paleo is like the name of the products and brand on Amazon.
Nice. Gotcha.
But the page is Santa Cruz Medicinals.
Yep.
And I have sort of always been into health. You know, I played sports growing up. And so I was always interested in health. And it's so funny, man. I mean, I'm getting more into my faith lately, but grew up going to church.
Nice.
My parents brought me to church. And eventually I just, rebelled, teenager, and just stopped going to church. I don't want to go. This is stupid. This is boring. I'm not going. I don't like the people there. I hang out with other people. And in high school, I definitely, towards the later years of high school, I struggled with a lot of things. I've talked about it a lot. Some drug addiction, a lot of alcohol use. We just was in a group of friends who we grew up really fast.
That's cool to see him go the other extreme then,
and
getting healthy.
Around that time, I lost 2 really close friends in high school. And luckily, from there, I mean, this one girl who sadly took her own life, I was close with, and my friend was really close with, he was dating her. Shortly after that, he died of a drug overdose. So 1, 2, they die like very fast. The girl's mom did an open casket funeral, and she basically sat us there, and her purpose of doing that was like, this is the path you are going down.
Ooh.
I know this is brutal, but I want you guys to go look at Sarah Riojas one last time. And that was one of the most beneficial things ever in a way, because I did stop that behavior from there.
That was the thing that kind of initiated the change in your life.
Stopped doing drugs after that. I mean, college, little weed, little alcohol, stuff like that. But it really caused this.
Yo, good on that woman, man. If I understand correctly, that was the mother of the deceased daughter. So like, that must have been so hard for her to do. But man, what a loving and kind thing for her to do, to bring that truth. That's why in our world today, people think like saying something that's difficult to hear to someone is unloving. Like to disagree with them is unloving. The most loving thing that mother could have done was to give these kids the harsh reality. If you keep going down this route, if you keep living in this way that is wrong, this is going to be you. That's not unloving. That's actually incredibly loving. It's kind, but difficult. And man, that's really, really powerful.
Sort of end of that for me, luckily.
Whoa.
And then I really started to get obsessed with health after I went to St. Mary's College in the East Bay for 1 year.
Absolutely, Serena.
Ended up dropping out of there, just still like kind of going through stuff. Traveled a little bit. And I went back to college and went to UC Santa Cruz. And I started getting my degree in anthropology.
Okay.
And at this time, I would say with faith, I was like, I believe in God. I do believe in Jesus, but I was getting really into science. I mean, I was going into anthropology, where you study the history of the world. And I was really into medical anthropology. You study some science stuff, some public health stuff. So I think you probably encounter this a lot, where people want to have this idea of science, right?
Yeah.
So this is the way the world works. So how can you explain these supernatural things?
Yeah.
Jesus came back from the dead. Well, science wouldn't say that, right? So while I do believe in God, I believe, I'm not like full atheist at this time. I'm like, how can this even work?
Yeah.
And then through anthropology, it's funny how it works. I was taking a class and you really dive into the actual history of Jesus, and you see some of these things where there's real historical evidence. And a professor in one of my classes said something very interesting. We were having a conversation about Jesus, and he was like, there is not any anthropologist or historian that is legit that thinks Jesus did not exist. And so that got me really interested, like, okay, like maybe I need to dive deeper into this.
Yeah.
So that's kind of some of the journey I've been on the last couple years of diving back in.
Nice.
I'd say. And as far as health goes, you learn where we came from as Homo sapiens. You learn sort of how we're supposed to live. You learn about all these beautiful tribes across the world, hunter-gatherer tribes that still exist today. And while they have their issues, almost all of them have amazing health. So they don't struggle with obesity, diabetes. The rates of depression and anxiety are extremely low. Some of them don't have a word for insomnia. We just did a piece on this island, Kitava, where this anthropologist spent time, and his thing was skin health. He worked with some dermatologists. They don't have a word for acne. So these conditions that plague our society, plague our society, sometimes they do not have a word for it. And people will try to poo-poo this and say, but all of our ancestors died at age 30. That's not true at all. That's like one of the day one anthropology lessons.
Yeah, that's not even a little true.
That is just data that is skewed because Western medicine is amazing. It's a godsend.
Yeah.
We have figured out a lot of things, and infant mortality and stuff like that is high in a lot of these tribes. So the real way is once you actually get past 10, 12, 13, 14 years old, oftentimes these hunter-gatherer tribes, they'll live to 75, 80 years old. In some areas, like traditional Japan, some of the blue zones, commonly to 100 years old.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. There is real health. And when you blend those two, a little bit of Western medicine with our ancestral wellness and stuff we know, you can experience perfect health.
Whoa. Yeah. I remember seeing a video one time.
I doubt perfect health, but really, really, really good health, I'm sure.
I'm on like TikTok of this like tribe chewing on like, it kind of looked like bamboo, but it cleaned their teeth.
Oh yeah.
And
I've
they
seen
just
that.
had like great teeth.
Yeah.
But they were some like random wild tribe. And I was like, what in the world? Yeah, that's so interesting. That's not the first time I've heard that either about other societies and cultures not having words or like things not existing over there. And a lot of it kind of honing back in on the food, which is interesting. And you said earlier, you said that the health has kind of pointed you back to faith a little bit. Like kind of how so?
In so many ways. So one of the main things I was just talking to one of my buddies about is I was on a plane years ago trying to read this deep book on mitochondrial health. Mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell.
Yep.
And it's honestly confusing stuff. This book was very difficult. The guy who wrote this is obviously an insanely high level specialist.
Yeah.
In this
Above
book,
my brain power.
I was an atheist. I did not believe in any religion whatsoever. Since understanding this, he has his PhD and stuff. He's won awards. He goes around and gives lectures. And give me chills. I'm getting chills right now. He writes a whole section in the book about how he now has given his life to God and Jesus because his understanding of the mitochondria, he says there is no way, scientifically, if you want to say it, there's no way that there's not intelligent design here.
Yeah.
Something above what we understand.
I love stories like that, man. I love stories of these like science, like experts in different areas, especially of like the human body. That like the further they get in, the more advanced they get, the quote unquote smarter they become, the more they realize like there has to be a God. You would think that if science disproves God, that the better you get at science, that you would get further from believing God's true. But more and more often are we hearing about these people that are becoming at the highest level experts, like this guy's describing here. And then what they're discovering is like, oh my goodness, I went into this thinking God can't be real. But now that I'm actually learning this, I realize that God can't not be real. There has to be a designer. Now, is that designer Jesus? That obviously requires a little bit more, but it at least begins you in the direction of like, there has to be a divine creator. Oh, I love it. Yeah, Callie, it's like the case for Christ. Absolutely.
So that caused him to really look more into his faith and into his religion. And so I think we see a lot of that sort of happening. Hi, Moses, you're so cute. Aren't you the cutest? Andrew Huberman has a viral clip right now. Stanford neurobiologist. And same thing. He's like, once you understand a lot of this stuff, you start to really think like, there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way there's not something bigger than us at play here.
Yeah. My biology teacher, one of the first things he taught us my freshman year of high school, do you know about mitochondrial Eve? Do you know about that?
No.
Every human being shares 99.98% of the same mitochondrial DNA.
Wow.
So that means that every human being, mitochondrial DNA comes from your mother. So somewhere in the family tree, we all have to have a relative that we stem from, that we receive the mitochondrial DNA from. And so they call it mitochondrial Eve because of Adam and Eve stemming from the garden, kind of being the forefront of the human race.
Yeah.
And so that got my wheels turning right there.
For sure.
And he encouraged me so much because unfortunately my biology teacher's wife had passed away to cancer. And this was one of the questions I wanted to ask you. He believed that through your diet, you could cure cancer and end cancer. Do you believe you can cure cancer through what you eat?
I'm curious on his answer because I've heard a lot of people say that, but I don't actually know.
So it really depends on the type of cancer and what's going on there. We had an oncologist named Dr. Conneely. She has an amazing clinic over there in Orange County. When anybody close to me mentions that they have somebody dealing with cancer, I say, please, if you can afford it. Unfortunately, this medical system is very expensive and tough. Go there, use her as a resource. She has a book, amazing book, Dr. Conneely. She uses a multitude of modalities to treat cancer. So the way that medicine's going to go, and a lot of people can actually take advantage of this like now, is if she gets somebody into her office, it's treated differently like Western medicine will. And she'll sometimes use chemo. She's not like, not using modern technology.
God bless you, friend. Welcome.
But it will be a litany of lab tests. So she'll do a GI map test, figure out what's going on in your gut microbiome. She'll do a whole hormone panel, figure out what's going on. Hey, Moses, aren't you the cutest? You probably just looking at the hug. Oh,
he is a hug.
Dog is going crazy, dude.
You're so sweet. Aren't you the sweetest little dog? I love it.
He loves you.
And
I love
she'll
dogs.
basically run all these lab tests that unfortunately the insurance model of healthcare won't run. And you can really figure out what's going on in somebody's body. So do you have mold toxicity? Do you have a parasite in your gut? Do you have a lack of good bacteria in your gut? You can see this stuff. And unfortunately, Western medicine's not catching a lot of that. So she has some amazing stories of somebody coming in, they're getting cancer over and over again. And they'll run, for example, organic acids test, it's called. And they'll see you have Lyme disease and a bunch of mold spores basically living in you. They'll get rid of that. The cancer goes away.
Whoa.
And the traditional medicine, it's not their fault. It's not like doctors out there are bad people. They're amazing people. But we have this insurance model of healthcare. So the problem is let's say I'm your doctor. You come in, you're using your insurance to go and talk to me. And you go, you know what? I'm feeling okay, but I got some gut issues, just like minor, just like don't feel perfect. The doctor's going to say, okay, they might give you some advice here and there, but they're not going to run the state-of-the-art GI map test where you do a full sequencing of your gut microbiome. If I, as a doctor, gave you that, I could get sued. Why?
What?
I just gave a healthy, how old are you?
21.
I just gave a healthy 21-year-old a GI map test and billed insurance. That's fraud. That's medical fraud. It's not in their lexicon of being able to give that to you.
Whoa.
Okay? And so now what happens is,
let's
say you have
crazy.
something that's very common that shows up on that GI map test, just came up for a friend and we had it treated, called H. pylori. This is a bacteria that lives in a lot of people's gut. And when it gets too out of control, it can cause gut issues.
Bro, if that's true,
Well,
that's
we
nuts.
know what happens when H. pylori goes untreated. This leads to ulcers. What happens when those go untreated? You get stomach cancer. So the problem with the medical system today is you'll have people going in way too late. You'll have an ulcer.
Wow.
And it's too late a lot of times. So I'm just trying to really get the word out about health because I feel like a lot of this stuff can be caught early. And when people are young and get into it, they're golden.
Wow. Dude, that's so interesting. So why does she get away with it? Why does she get away with the blood tests and like the average doctor doesn't?
It's billed out of pocket. It's unfortunate.
That's
And this is the
crazy,
thing, I do a
dude.
good amount of content about the functional medicine.
Oh, wait,
side.
that's why she does this because she's not charging the insurance.
Yeah,
just
she's not
charging the
billing
person.
insurance.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So already, unfortunately, healthcare has sort of started to have a split.
Bro, American healthcare system is Wild. Mag, I'm moving to the UK with you, brother.
Between the elite and the poor. And this is just a fact, and I'm so willing to talk about it because I don't care. It helps people. It's not like I sell any of these tests or do any of this.
Yeah.
I just tell people what's out there. If you have, $5,000 to spend, you can go get so many lab tests done, interpret the results with a functional medicine doctor, and they will put you on most likely herbal and supplement and diet protocols, and you can retest, and you will solve health issues that you never even thought possible.
I've heard that. My life coach even told me about that because when I was 3 months into my health journey, and then I got sick for an entire month, got sick for 2 weeks, was healthy for like a few days, and got sick again. And he was just like, he literally told me about that. You can pay for blood tests, and then the doctor will basically create supplement or medication for your specific blood issues, which is wild to me. I mean, that's pretty crazy.
It is crazy.
So there's one of my favorite videos of you, which I just think is funny. Is you paying people $100 not to eat crumble cookie.
Yep.
Where did that come from? Why are you paying people not to eat crumble cookie?
It started, we were just doing videos in the grocery store, going over some products of like, what are people buying out there? And those started to go really viral because a lot of times just pops through people's algorithm and they're just drinking their soda mindlessly. Oh, it's soda, it's not the best thing, but they don't really know. What is this doing to me, right? Am I addicted to this stuff and I don't even know?
Yeah.
And then it just turned into, I was just with my videographer one day and I'm like, what if I just offer this dude $100 to
This video is inspiring me to turn on my walkie pad. I'm gonna walk on the treadmill.
quit soda for 30 days? And that's how this video started.
Yeah.
And then we thought, well, what if we go to Crumble Cookie? What if we go to McDonald's? And the reason I do those videos, people say, oh, that person, they might go back there. That might be true with a good amount of people. But what I know for sure, because I've gotten thousands of messages, is that cracks through people's day-to-day routine. And they see that video and they go, why is this guy willing to give somebody $100 to quit crumble? Is crumble really that bad? Then they start looking into it. And then they start getting more health videos. And like you were saying, like now that you've been healthy, when you go off your routine a little bit, you really feel it. Most people out there don't know how good they can feel. That's the issue. And that's one of the main things I'm trying to correct in this world. Give yourself 30 days of eating only real food, focusing on good sources of protein, drink clean water, don't overdo it with anything, work out, do your mobility, do your breathing, do your prayer. Give yourself 30 days. It's 30 days of your life.
Yeah.
I'm not asking for some crazy thing. Give yourself 30 days of real strict, real discipline. And if you want to go back to, you know what, Brennan, I got in really good shape and I sometimes have this food or this food, that's fine. You don't need to live like me.
Yeah.
But if you don't even know how good you can feel, then you're not going to know how bad you feel on a normal day-to-day basis, which is where...
Yeah, it's true, man. And this is why I'm kicking myself so much for letting myself off the wagon. For one, I used to live an incredibly healthy lifestyle, and I felt amazing. Then I got diagnosed with my disease, and that screwed that up for me for a long time. But if I'm being honest, it was a part of my life where I couldn't live healthy because of my actual health going out of order. But then after I've mostly stabilized, I can resume to a mostly normal life. I just haven't put the action steps in place. But even just a couple months ago, when I was on that carnivore diet for 3 months, I felt like $1 million, man. $1 million. Now these days, I'm tired, sluggish, slow, hard to get up in the morning. And it absolutely is because of my diet. And he's absolutely right. Like, I've actually experienced how good you can feel. And I've just let myself off the wagon. And I'm really trying to get my life in order.
most people are functioning.
Yeah. And I noticed you like the glass bottle of water.
I do.
I'm drinking out of a plastic bottle.
Yeah.
Is it bad to drink out of plastic bottles of water? And why do you choose the glass bottle? And why do you choose the type of water?
Yeah.
I personally can taste the difference between purified water and alkaline water and spring water. But I grew up on Dasani.
Yeah.
I grew up on
that's
that
crazy,
stuff, the
bro.
purified water, like the big name brands.
Yep.
And so it's not that I don't like the spring water, the alkaline water. It's just I grew up with the purified. I like the purified. Is that bad? Like, tell us about water.
For sure. Drinking out of plastic in general is bad. Now, you travel a lot, man. You know, you'll see me in an airport sometimes. We were in Vegas, you know, at this jiu-jitsu event. There's no other water to buy.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to go so hard on people in those instances.
Yeah.
But I will go hard on you. You shouldn't have that. There's no reason to not have a Hydro Flask or a glass bottle.
What is bad about this, though? I don't understand.
So what happens is when that plastic is exposed to light and heat, it leaches something called bisphenol A or BPA into that water, which has been clearly connected with endocrine disruption. So your hormones, your testosterone for men, it basically imitates estrogen in our body. It's called a xenoestrogen, and our body doesn't really know how to react to it. It's been connected with immune system flare-ups. If you want to look at it very simply, we have not lived with plastics as much as we have in the last, 60, 70 years. Before, 100 years ago, 120 years ago, there really wasn't plastic. So it's a new thing for our body. Our body, hey, maybe in 3,000 years we'll be more adapted to it, but right now we're not. So when I can avoid plastic, I do. Usually I'm just filling up one of these with reverse osmosis water. It's a type of filter, and I put in a scoop of electrolytes, and that's what I drink 95% of the time.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so, but for example,
I gotta drink more electrolytes too, actually. And Advantage G, one of my sponsors, has an electrolyte line. I just need to drink it more.
If I was to go into the gas station, right, and I get to choose between the plastic and the glass bottle of water,
you should go glass.
Obviously, there's a big price difference, like a few dollar difference between these two bottles right here. This might be a $2 bottle of water right here. That might be a $5 bottle of water. But do you think that's worth $5 for the sake of the plastic?
For me, yes. I'm totally down to spend a bit more for my health. I invest a lot into my health. But what I see so much is people buying packs of those, right? And we've done the cost analysis. What people should go get is, it's called a reverse osmosis water filter. They are $300. They last forever. You just need to change the filter, which is like 30 to 40 bucks once every 6 months. You install that underneath your kitchen sink. They make countertop ones for people that live in apartments and don't want to mess with the bottom of their sink. These things used to be...
Yo, maybe I should do that, because I'm going to lie, I just drink straight up tap water. My fridge doesn't even have like a thing in it, so I just straight up from the tap.
$1,000, $1,500. Now they've come down in price. You get a 5-stage reverse osmosis filter, any good brand, they sell them at Home Depot, they sell them at Target now.
You
install that underneath your sink, you're going to save money, you're going to filter out pesticides, you're going to filter out, there's birth control in our tap water now. Anybody right now.
All right, what is this? I'm looking it up right now. Reverse osmosis. This thing is $600, bro. Is this not the one he was talking about? There's gotta be cheaper ones, right? There's gotta be cheaper ones than that. What about this one? Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of money. Oh, and it's like a whole thing that goes like underneath your sink and everything. I might have to look into this. Because I wonder with my wife, I wonder if parts of it can lead to like, I don't know. Can it mess with your stomach and stuff? Because for years, we've always had a fridge that had a water thing in it. And then when we moved to Oregon, we didn't have one of those. And so we started drinking tap. And it tastes good, to be honest. But then my wife started getting health issues, and I wonder if they could be related.
Right now, Google EWG tap water, and something will come up. You type in your zip code. Comment below on Bryce's post your city and how many contaminants are independently lab tested in your tap water.
Okay, I'm doing this right now. He said what, EWG water? Is that what he said?
It's a city and how many something will come up. You type in your zip. You can go, anybody right now, Google EWG tap water. Something will come up. You type in your zip code. Comment below on Bryce's post your city and how many contaminants are independently lab tested in your tap water. It's a lot. And we're not even talking like, I don't go too far down the fluoride and chlorine rabbit hole because I don't think it's a conspiracy. I actually do not think the government is trying to poison us in some elaborate hoax. They are looking at it like we have to get water to hundreds of millions of people. We need to chlorinate it a bit. But ingestion of chlorine can cause kidney issues. So reverse osmosis filters out that chlorine. It's a good thing.
So it's not necessarily that purified water is bad. It's more so the microplastics in this thing.
Yes.
That's making it bad.
That was sitting in a truck in San Diego. Okay, it was exposed to heat. Yeah, so that's...
Dude, this is super eye-opening. I can't show it on stream, so I don't want to show the town I live in. But this is really eye-opening, dude. This website gives you so much information.
Leach some plastic in there, and you're basically consuming small amounts of plastic when you drink that. There's no way to completely avoid microplastics. Something people should know is hard plastics leach far less microplastics than the softer plastics. So the plastics like a plastic bag are going to leach more than, you know, a harder plastic. So like people make jokes like, oh, I just touched microplastic. Like it's you know.
Yeah, like touching receipts.
Yeah, oh yeah. I always am joking like, I'm like, I can't touch that receipt. You know, and like, look, if I really need to hold a receipt, obviously I'll do it. We don't proceed with fear. We're not scared. People go,
Wow.
you're scared of crumble. You're scared of... No, I just like feeling my best. And if I can do something as simple as I wake up in the morning, I walk to my water filter, I fill up one of these bottles or two of these bottles, and I'm hitting the road. That was so easy. And it saved me money because a pack of those is going to be 40 something bucks. You buy a few of those, you've already gone over the cost of the RO filter.
Yeah.
So when something's easy, I just do it. And it's not out of fear. It's out of self-love.
So because
Dang.
you live such a healthy lifestyle, if you just touch a receipt with microplastics, like it'll mess you up.
No, you won't feel that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought
That would be
oh my
crazy.
gosh, that's crazy. Like that's a
If
lot.
he had said yes, I don't think I would have even believed it. I don't think so, dude. Yeah, I don't think so, man. Mag, I find when I'm not in my area and I drink bottled or something, I need to drink more than normal. Oh, really? Interesting. Mark, in the Netherlands, tap water here literally is the same as spring water. They bottle the same water just a few kilometers, non-freedom miles away. Oh, that's crazy.
It ruins my day. I'm just like cooked. Like it's done. I just crumple.
Can't even walk.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so funny.
So no, like stuff like that. It's kind of funny. There's like certain things that have gone really viral in health. Red 40, you know, the
Yep.
food dyes,
Yep.
the seed oils, the touching of receipts, and
Yep.
these things. Well, I think it's actually a really good segue to get people to learn about health, because I think like the Red 40 thing, like, look, if you have a little sip of Red 40, is it going to cause tons of health issues? No, we get health issues from overconsumption of stuff, too many calories, too much processed sugar, lack of physical activity, bad sleep. But Red 40 is a very good vehicle to get people tuned into health because they go, wait, why is this bright red?
Yeah.
What is going on here? Why are they trying to imitate the colors that we find in nature of fruit, which God put on this earth for us to consume?
Yeah.
Why are they trying to imitate this? Oh, because it's deeply embedded in our biological reward mechanism to seek out bright colored fruit. This is why the cereal, they put fruit on the cover of on the box of their
So
cereal.
true, dude.
They put fruit on the cover of the sodas on the label. Why? Because your brain knows that that's what it wants, but it's just going to trick you.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Holy smokes, bro. This is like crazy
Yeah.
stuff, but not a lot of people know about it. Do you,
I don't.
So when's the last time you ate crumble cookie?
I've never had crumble cookie.
Never.
Never in my life have I ever had crumble cookie. It started when I was already obsessed with health. so-
When's the last time you had like something sweet?
Oh, I mean, I have like sweet stuff often where it's like a coconut water or a honey, you know, something made with honey, something made with maple syrup. I had a birthday and this like organic cafe brought out a little like gluten-free baked dish with some, you know, maple syrup and probably some almond flour in there. And it's sweet. It satisfies my sweet tooth. Look, if you can't eat dates, you know, the fruit dates, honey, pineapple, mango, stuff that God put on this earth. I mean, it says in the Bible, it tells you what to eat. I gave you permission to eat meat, eat fruit. And people have now cooked their taste buds so much that I've interacted with influencers on the show I do Locked In, where I try to get streamers and people healthy who go, I don't like fruit. It doesn't taste good.
Bro, hit me up. Hit me up, bro. I'll do a 30, 60, 90, whatever challenge. Yo, hit me up, brother. I need to get healthy, and then we'll get the whole church in on it.
And honestly, like now that I'm getting back into faith and seeing some of the stuff that you put out and seeing some of the stuff that Forrest puts out and other creators, I do think there's a bit of a demonic energy there. And I worry about it because I'm like, you now don't like what God put on this earth as sweet, as to taste good, for you to enjoy. You don't even like that anymore.
Yeah.
It's concerning.
Yeah, for sure.
Guys, we got to pause. Snow Katrina just said Cliff, which is her husband, had an appointment to get a biopsy done on a mass that he has had for years now. And on recent images had shown that it actually had grown. Many doctors had confirmed that growth. The endoscopy to do the biopsy took less than 15 minutes because God removed the mass. He found minor inflammation on the pancreas, but absolutely no mass was found. And Katrina, like, are you saying that that's just like a literal miracle of God? There was no medication that was doing that. There was no procedure that did that. Like, it just was gone. Guys, I have seen miracles with my own two eyes that have happened to other people, that have happened in my life. We served a supernatural, wonder-working, miraculous God who was able to do exceedingly and abundantly more than we could ever imagine. Katrina, that's incredible. Please tell Cliff we're so happy for him. That's unbelievable. That is unbelievable. Wow.
I mean, I grew up, my grandparents, one set of grandparents, they grew a lot of fruit. They had a garden. Yeah. Like they were growing squash, green beans. We would plant green beans, had a blueberry tree, strawberries. And I love fruit. And it actually does kind of, it's weird. Like it's not a donut.
Yeah.
It's not a donut.
It's not a donut.
But like some of the strawberries I love.
Yeah.
I love them and they're great. And I think you're right. It's just hard to, I guess it's hard to, I want to try to like get like the guy or girl listening to this, like hit their heart right now. It is hard to rewind a lifestyle that you've been hardwired to live for a majority of your life.
Yes.
It is.
So like if someone was like the first step I want to take and just doing something healthy.
Yeah.
What's the easiest first step to do something healthy
It's a great question.
with your body?
Absolutely. So one of the very interesting things when we're focusing especially on sugar addiction and people have these cravings for these foods, like I know I need it.
I do,
There
bro.
are bacteria in our body, like Candida is one, that actually lives off sugar. And everybody has a little Candida, but almost everybody now in today's society has Candida overgrowth. And there's literally a bacteria now in your body that's overgrown, that is craving sugar. It's sending direct messages to your brain, to your neurochemistry, to make you buy sugar and consume sugar. You aren't just your brain. You are your gut. You're your immune system. And so what I would say to people is try a 24-hour fast. Bible talks a lot about fasting. I think fasting can have its downsides if done too much, if not done properly. People need to be careful with it. But a 24-hour fast while staying hydrated with some electrolytes is doable for just about everybody, as long as you don't have a medical condition, whatever. That is something people should do because you'll get hungry, you will start to know that you can choose to eat something or not. I'll see people on a 4-hour flight. I need to eat this right now. I need to eat this horrible food.
No, you don't.
Just sit.
Yeah.
You're going to be fine.
Yeah.
It's 4 hours. Drink some water. You will be okay.
Yeah.
Like
you
you
don't need
said,
to eat the bad thing.
Unless you have a medical condition, like you feel hunger, and other times like, dude, I gotta eat something right now. I'm starving. You're really not. Like, people can go a very long time without food, outside of medical conditions, of course. But we just give in to the temptations.
So that gets people some self-control back in their hands.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I never knew the physical benefits until I started seeing like Gary Brecka talk about fasting and Huberman talk about fasting. But no, fasting has changed my life.
Yeah.
Like even from a spiritual sense, because it's like, because I'm starving myself physically is sharpening myself spiritually.
It really does,
man. The only thing
man.
I can be full of is not a bunch of junk. I'm full of the Spirit because when I get hungry, I'm supposed to consume the Word of God and pray and seek Him. And so I think that's like, man, I just love that. It's such a practical. I think the practicals are so good. I love practicals.
Yeah.
And your electrolytes, 0 calories.
Yes.
And that's, if you don't know this out there, seriously, a water fast is just 0 calories.
Yep.
So you can do a water fast with electrolytes. And it's legit.
Yeah, it'll make you feel better. You'll have less of those headaches, and you're getting
The guy in the background.
Magnesium. Your kidneys and your body is just always trying to create electrolyte balance. So we have the right ratios in there and stuff, and it's good stuff.
And I'm not even seriously. If you're listening or watching this, I'm not doing a shameless plug. I've had a lot of electrolytes, but Santa Cruz's electrolytes is the best electrolytes I've ever had. And I'm not just saying that as like a shameless plug.
I appreciate that.
Seriously, I had probably I've never been the type of
Anytime.
guy
I want to see
like
that water you sent me.
electrolytes because it's grainy, because it clumps up, like you said earlier.
Yep.
It clumps
Dodger
up
AM.
and it doesn't
Welcome,
taste
bro.
good, and it's like weird. Well, I had like 4 scoops in one day and 4 different bottles of water with your stuff when I was a few weeks ago when I was with Forrest, and so I'm serious. Like, you guys should definitely go check out Santa Cruz's website and get some stuff.
We put a lot of love and effort into our products. It's been fun.
Well, I think that's what separates you from a lot of people, right? Because when it comes to something like medicine, there's a lot of doctors out there that care about people.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's also a lot of doctors out there that care about money.
Yep.
Yeah, sure.
So they're willing to sacrifice people's health for the sake of a bigger paycheck. What I love about you is you're willing to care about people. And I know it's not cheap to do things the right way.
Yeah.
So I just want to say I'm grateful, and people are grateful that you are choosing people and health over paycheck. Like that's important, and we need that.
Yeah, and what's really interesting, and I wanted to talk to you about, is getting back into my faith. You know, I started to get back into it when my dad died. So my dad died 5 years ago, and it was brutal. It was tough. He struggled with alcoholism at the end of his life and eventually passed away. And what I started to notice in some of these times when it was the brutal times, you know, family's in there, he's going through intense alcohol withdrawal, hallucinating, like all the bad stuff. People prayed, like prayer. Even my brother prayed, like. So okay, I just did this piece on posture, different postures humans go into. Little kids, when they score a goal in soccer, they go into this. It's just instinctive across all cultures, across anything. You go like, this is like a winning posture. What is this? Like sad.
Yeah.
And people during difficult times, during some of their darkest times, go into praying posture. It's just something that like the body does. And I started to notice that, and that just like kind of tuned me back into getting back into my faith a lot. And at this time, I had started my company, but we were doing our thing. I was still working other jobs, you know. It was like it wasn't so viral. It was just doing its thing, you know. It was a side hustle in my mind. After my dad passed away, I really took it upon myself to, you know, put more effort into my company. And it's one of the reasons that this brought me back to my faith is I just started to go extremely viral and reach so many people. And the two things have been sort of aligned. And I don't have an explanation for that. I don't know why or how.
Might be God's favor.
But like, you know, for me, like on
Hey, Lorraine.
psychological level, it was like, okay, I couldn't help my dad. So now but I can help other people.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons I have like a deep, passionate thing for this is like, I had to see my dad do that. I tried to help him, you know, trust me, I tried. And it's instilled like this deep passion for that'll never go away. Yeah. You take away all the money, all the company, all this, and I would still be talking about health to people. Yeah. I do it off camera, I do it on camera. You can ask Caesar, like doesn't matter. Yep. But yeah, that was just really fascinating for me. And I just feel like somehow I've been able to go so viral, especially amongst the youth, with a message of real health. I've had people come up and just be like,
that's great, man.
It doesn't even make sense. Like somehow
that's really great that he's landing this message with youth. Because oftentimes people don't really start caring about health until they're a little bit older and they start really realizing the negative effects of me not caring about my health are now catching up to me. Because when you're super young, you kind of feel immortal. You feel invincible, you know? It's actually great because, I mean, that's the truth, right? Like you said earlier, it's hard to undo like decades of living a certain way. So if we can get people when they're young, teach them how to live a healthy lifestyle, then they don't have to unlearn 30 years of bad habits because they didn't start them in the first place. But I'm actually surprised to hear that it's landing with youth because when I was young, even though when I was like, you know, from ages 14 and 19, I worked out like in an insane amount, super healthy. And that might seem like I'm disproving my point of like young people don't often care about health, but I didn't do it because I wanted to be healthy. I did it because I liked being strong. I liked the aesthetic of how it made my body look. I liked the confidence that came with it. But to be honest, when I was young, I had no concern of like, I should treat my body well because when I'm older, like older Souzy will thank me and I want to avoid heart problems. Like it was strength, confidence. It was a lot of, you know, like superficial reasons. But I liked being athletic. I liked being fit. But now that I'm older, now it's different. Now I'm like, Six-pack abs don't really matter all that much. But being healthy, so I live a long and healthy life. I can take care of my wife. I can be present. I can have good energy. My lower back won't hurt as much, right? Like, I'm very, 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 very different reasons. So I'm actually glad that it's landing with the younger generation, because the truth is we all need it, no matter how old we are.
In this world of just like you are, you know, you walk down the street and people go, oh, that's the guy. Somehow I've been able to break through that with a real good message, and so have you. And that's wild to me. Because what usually breaks through is negativity.
Yeah. It's the junk. I think this is what I was telling you earlier that I was going to open up with was I'm so grateful for your knowledge and wisdom, because we live in an information age where there's an abundance of information, but there's a lack of clarity.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And people, especially
so much information out there, you don't really know which one to believe.
Are getting sick and tired of the fake stuff, because they're always fed fake.
Yeah.
The internet feeds you fake. The media feeds you, like, everything feeds you fake. And so people's getting tired of the fake. And so what you're bringing to the table, what I've been learning through my fitness program at Zila, what I'm learning when I just use the brain that God has given me to research and actually look into things, I realize that there is a lack of clarity, but where the clarity is, there's a lot of freedom.
For sure.
In like a whole lot of different things. Like what you're saying is like, man, like a lot of people's moods, like they might struggle with mood swings, but that just might be correlated to the food that they're eating. And if they just change the food that they're eating, they might not have mood swings. It's like these practicals and things. And so you bringing this clarity to everyone's got a lack of clarity, and you're bringing the clarity to it.
Yeah.
That's what I think. That's why people are drawn to what you're doing, is because you're getting into the specifics and you're authentically you doing things that the average bear isn't doing. What is 99.9% of America doing? They're pushing the processed food.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're the 1% that's standing out. You're fighting the current. Mm-hmm. You're saying, actually, look, I mean, if you eat it every now and then, do your thing. But if you're worshiping this processed food like everyone's telling you to do it, you're doing something wrong.
Absolutely.
That's the wake up call that people are getting, and it's inspiring and encouraging to be a consumer of that and to be blessed by you to say like, man, I want to do that. And yeah,
I need to pause and go follow this guy's YouTube channel. I'm assuming it's in the description. Okay, it is not in the description. But his name is Santa Cruz Medicinals. And he has a YouTube channel. It's just not in the description. Here we go. I'm going to go subscribe to this literally right now, because I want to continue to educate myself and learn about this. And you know what I like about this guy? It's like, he's obviously healthy, but he's not some like super jacked up bodybuilder that the moment I look at him, I'm like, that can never be me. Like, he's almost relatable in the sense where he's got a little bit of muscle, but he just, he's just lean, but not so insanely lean that you're like, dude, like, this seems so far out of reach. He's just like, he looks like a normal person who works out a little bit, doesn't have a ton of extra body fat. He looks, I guess the best way to describe it, he looks attainable in a beautiful way. And that's what I really like. Like, his focus is on like, just be healthy. Never hear he's been like, you should be able to pick up X amount of weight, or you should be able to run X amount of miles. He's like, just be healthy. And everybody's body is different. So the way that you'll look when you actually get healthy is very, very different. Some people just have, really good genetics to be able to look really swole and things like that, depending on your, like, there's a lot that goes into that, muscle building. But he just looks healthy, but in a realistic way. He doesn't look like some supermodel, doesn't look like a bodybuilder. He doesn't look like a Instagram filtered person. He just looks like a guy who actually does the things he's talking about. Just be mindful what you eat and be healthy. It's impressive. It's impressive.
Yeah, again, it's just I got in that point in my faith journey where I'm just like, man, I'm honoring God with everything, except my body.
Yep.
I'm either being a hypocrite or I can do something about it right now. That's just kind of where I was faced. It's like I can either be a hypocrite or I can do something about it. And I just I had this thought that kind of really changed my perspective about health. It was, if I'm willing to cut corners in what I eat, if I'm willing to cut corners in a workout program, oh, I'm tired, I'm not going to finish the workout program, then what else am I willing to cut corners on in life?
Sure.
On an extreme level. Like, would I be willing to backstab friends? Would I be willing to do things for the sake of money and not integrity?
And some people might hear that and feel like he's going a little extreme, and it can be. But the principle that he's trying to make is, if you are willing to have a hole in your integrity somewhere, are you open to having a hole in the integrity in that areas of life? And the principle remains is like, it absolutely can happen, and it's pretty eye opening.
If I'm willing to cut corners here, and so that was a big wake up call for me. Was like, this is deeper than just food.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this
small
is,
concessions.
This is a hard issue. Yep. And like, I want to get to the root. And so, man, again, it's just like, it's so encouraging and inspiring.
And that's what I'm learning about myself right now, guys. You know, for years, I think I just kind of thought like my whole food thing, for me eating food was just like, hey, it's no big deal. It's not really, super big of an issue. It's just some snacks, just some candy, whatever. But what he just said, over this past probably 6 months, I think the Holy Spirit's began to reveal to me, is it's really not a food issue. It's actually a heart issue. What do you go to for comfort rather than God, which can be idolatry? Is it a lack of self-control, where your body desires something, but you are unable to say no to your own flesh and body? And it's, for me, I'm really learning that, like, if I'm being transparent, like, I think I have a food problem that I'm trying to get a handle on. Lorraine, appreciate the resub. And I don't want, like the Apostle Paul says in the New Testament, be mastered by nothing. And I think in realizing is it's more than just I like food. It's, I think food has a hold on me more than I'd like it to. And I need to get real serious. Before, it was about like, I just need to be healthy, which is important, obviously, but it's more than about, I want to be healthy. It's about, I don't want things to have control over me. I don't want to be a slave to my desires. And I'm beginning to realize that about myself, that actually it's more than just my taste buds. It's my desires, and I want to practice the fruit of the Spirit, which is self-control. A fruit of the Spirit's evidence that you are a follower of Jesus is the fruit of the Spirit, and one of those is self-control. And I think we talk about self-control in the real big, obvious ones, like adultery and lust and anger. But controlling what you eat is absolutely a part of that. Because the question is, when your body wants something, do you have the ability to say no? Or is your body calling the shots and it's actually in charge? And I'm beginning to learn about myself that my body is too much in control of the food that I want to eat. And I want to get a better handle on it.
Firing.
Your body is a temple.
It is a temple.
The Bible says this. And it's why it's really frustrating for me to see Christians treating their body bad. But then they'll focus on other stuff in the Bible. They'll be like, well, you're ignoring something that comes up over and over again in the Bible. Yeah. And there's a lot of stuff about health in the Bible. It's astonishing, really, that people, like I was saying, will leave church and they might be 500 pounds and they'll go to Crumble Cookie. And I want to see less of that.
Yeah.
On the earth in general. Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty wild. And like you're saying, like a lot of the young generation deals with depression, anxiety.
Yeah.
The rates are skyrocketing, ADHD, all these things. And your health is directly related to that. Yeah. What you eat directly affects that. And like, if people just want something simple, it's like your actual neurotransmitters use nutrients from food. They use amino acids, B vitamins. That's how they're produced. Mm-hmm. So like, it's not just like you are what you eat. It's like, if you eat a bad meal over and over again, you're not going to have the capacity to feel happy because there's certain neurotransmitters that you need to feel happy. If I could an imaginary just tinker with your brain right now and just dopamine, let's go. Serotonin, let's go. You would feel all types of ways right now. You'd be just like, oh my, what am I feeling right now? And this is what people are doing with the things that they ingest. And they just don't view it as so bad. They sometimes don't even make the connection. So I'm really trying to get that light turned on in people's head of like, they don't realize that they drank the Coca-Cola and it was sweet, it was good. And then 2 hours later, they have a headache, they don't feel good, they don't feel like their best self. Yeah. And sometimes they don't even make that connection. It happens all the time.
Food is fuel. Food is literally fuel. And depending what kind of metaphorical gas you put on your car will determine its ability to run. And that's really eye-opening for me. But I don't really eat food for fuel. I eat food mostly for pleasure. And I don't think that's necessarily always wrong, but when it's taken to an extreme, that's when I think it starts getting dangerous. Yeah, and boom, it starts becoming idolatry. Absolutely.
Is diet soda better for you than is?
By the way, completely unrelated, but I just got 86 fishing, no screw escape. Shout out. Shout out.
What's better, diet soda or zero sugar soda?
Zero sugar and diet soda are the same thing. So diet soda and zero sugar soda are one. Full sugar soda is made with corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup in the United States. Overall, I do think diet soda and zero sugar sodas, if you are trying to lose weight, are a better option. I'm not the biggest fan of some of the artificial sweeteners. I like to say the jury is still out on them. But if somebody is trying to lose weight and they're like, I'm going to drink a full sugar corn syrup soda, hundreds and hundreds of calories in that, versus a 0 calorie artificially sweetened, which are all the diet sodas, that diet soda would be a better option for them.
100%. I'm so glad he said that because I agree. I've actually done a lot of research on like artificial sweeteners. And here's the deal. I'm not going to tell you that artificial sweeteners are good for you. I'm like, oh, they're healthy. They'll make your life better. But they are infinitely better for you than sugar. Like, it is, the best way I can put it is artificial sweeteners are just the lesser of two evils. They just are. Now, I think sugar is way more evil. Now, here's what's better than drinking artificial sugars. Just drink water, right? However, if you're going to drink something, like I drink Advanced GG, which does have some, it's got aspartame in it, or sucralose. I have to look back into it. Both are artificial sugars, right? Sweeteners, not sugars. Sure, it'd be better for you to not consume artificial sweeteners, absolutely. But they are infinitely better than actually just having sugar by a landslide.
Gotcha. Luckily today, there's a lot of cool options out there, like Zevia, which is sweetened with stevia, which is a plant that grows in the ground.
Yep.
I prefer to go that direction with it. A sparkling water.
I gotta try that.
The flavored sparkling waters now. I would prefer somebody go that direction, but I used to hate on diet soda back in the day. And then you really look at the research and you're like, if somebody's quitting normal soda and they're losing weight and they're drinking diet soda, I can't hate on that too much.
Yeah. I heard something one time where someone said, I didn't read it from an article. I just heard someone say it. So I wanted to ask you about it. I heard someone say that eating a large fry from McDonald's is like smoking a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah, I saw that clip.
Is that true?
I disagree with that.
Okay.
Smoking cigarettes is worse.
What? How bad?
It would take a lot to convince me. Not only because I like McDonald's fries, but cigarettes are so freaking bad for you, dude.
Compare a large fry. Compare a large fry then to something that would damage your body. If Bryce ate a large French fry from McDonald's, what would be the equivalent of that?
I could see it like smoking one cigarette. A pack it might get a little egregious, but I could see having like a one cigarette. I think it could be up there. McDonald's fries use an
even one though that's a pretty serious comparison.
Foaming agent called dimethylpolysiloxane in there, and this is used to basically make like a jet fuel.
That's
like
crazy.
Foam or like when they
I can literally drop 5 pounds in a month just from switching to diet soda. Sheesh.
Putting out a fire and they want an anti-foaming agent. Dimethylpolysiloxane is in there. McDonald's fries used to be beef tallow and potatoes and salt. Okay, that's what the recipe used to be. Yeah. And now for the sake of convenience, it's a long list of ingredients. And while I personally would never eat those, I just don't, my body's a temple, I choose to not eat those. I have the ability to not eat those. Well, obviously, if you eat them occasionally, it's not going to ruin your health. I would definitely go the option of getting some potatoes and looking at beef tallow French fries. Make those at home and see how you feel. You'll probably feel a lot better.
Do you eat those?
Yeah.
They're great?
Yeah. I love beef tallow French fries. I have a restaurant I want to send you guys to in LA that I own part of, and that's one of the things we have on the menu is beef tallow French fries.
Dude, I would love to go there.
That sounds good.
I would love to go there.
Yeah.
Do you think that it's better to air fry food than deep fry food? 1000%?
In general, yes. So like having more dietary fat in your diet, like is for most people, you don't want to have an excess of saturated fat. So deep frying will add some saturated fat. While I don't fear saturated fat, I think we were in general wrong about butter. You know, butter's demonized, eggs are demonized, red meat is demonized.
Crazy.
I think that's very wrong.
I agree.
It was done off flawed science. We know that our ancestors ate butter, drank dairy, ate red meat. The Bible says to eat meat. It's totally fine. It's interesting. The Bible says basically to eat ruminant animals. Ruminant animals are ones that feed on grass. So it talks about, lamb, cows and stuff like that, which ends up being some of the healthiest meat you can have, grass-fed steak. But as far as air frying versus deep frying, I would go air fryer.
Okay, can you explain
Air fryer? I just recently got an air fryer, changed my life.
to me, like, what's so bad about regular beef versus grass-fed beef? What's so bad about it?
I'm curious.
So I don't think regular beef is bad. I think it's a really good source of B vitamins and protein, and it's accessible for so many people. I think it's an amazing thing to eat. Now, once you get into this state where you're able to be a bit more optimal, I think going grass-fed beef is better. It's going to have a better fatty acid profile, so you'll actually see more omega-3 fats in grass-fed beef than corn and soy-fed beef.
Wow.
Now, grass-fed, grass-finished beef is also better for the environment.
I really like his approach because you hear a lot of these fitness people and they're like, nobody should eat regular beef ever. Grass-fed all the way, man. And like organic this and organic that. And a lot of times like this stuff is more expensive. And oftentimes like people just can't do it. And I really like his approach where he's like, hey, for just your everyday person, it's accessible. It's mostly going to be just fine. But if you reach a place, and I'm kind of inferring what he meant there, he said something along the lines of once you reach a place, you could be a little more optimal. I'm assuming he means like if you have more money. And I thought that was a very eloquent way to actually put that. He's like, if you have more money and you can swing it, yes, this is better. But the alternatives, like it's probably a small difference. It's worth the money if you have it. But if you don't, normal beef's going to be just fine for you. I really appreciate that approach. It's very realistic, but like informative, like it's actually backed up by like the science. I like this guy a lot, actually.
So when you have cows that are out to pasture, just like cows have always been until recently,
doing their thing,
it is better for the environment for sure. Now, it's a bit more expensive. Sometimes it's tough to access for people. So while I'm a huge fan of grass-fed beef, in that restaurant, Tallow Organic, that I was talking about in LA, we serve grass-fed, grass-finished beef because that's just the way I like to do things. But no, if you just go to the store and you just get a regular steak, awesome. I'm gonna go to New York and I'm gonna order a steak at a steakhouse.
Yeah.
Probably that cow's probably finished off feeding them corn to fatten them up.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I like this approach.
going back to the fast food thing really quick, I want to ask you this as well. What is the healthiest fast food someone could get?
That's a really good question. I would say Chipotle and In-N-Out are my go-tos.
Okay, I thought In-N-Out too because they
Chipotle, I could see. I was not expecting the In-N-Out.
they do everything fresh, right?
Yeah.
You see them chopping the potatoes. You see the way that they fix the meat. Do you get the lettuce wrap when you go?
Yeah, I get protein style. So I'm ordering that. I usually get 2 when I'm hungry, like 3 by 0. So protein style, no cheese. The cheese does have some artificial food dyes in there that I'm not a big fan of.
It's not the worst, though?
thing in the world.
Okay.
If you like the cheese, go for it. I think they're going to phase out those artificial food dyes in that In-N-Out cheese, which I'm excited to see that.
Wow.
I like to get grilled onions in there, ask for it mustard fried. And that's what I get at In-N-Out. I think it's absolutely amazing.
I love that. I seriously
go.
eat the double protein style.
Yeah.
But just the meat, cheese. I like the cheese.
Yeah.
And then the lettuce wrap. That to me, going back to like eating something sweet, that feels like my sweet reward.
Oh, it's so good.
As a dinner, it just is like, it's just different, you know. And it still has that fast
For
food
sure.
feel
Oh,
to
you get the
it,
fast food
you
feel. I
know?
just went with my friends in Las Vegas right before the CGI Jiu-Jitsu tournament. It's so fun. We go on like road trips with my buddies, and it's a place where I can go and I can eat. And is it perfect? No. But is it a good option? Yeah. But I would really recommend that protein style because.
Wow, dude. I actually really wasn't a huge In-N-Out fan. My wife loves it. We live in the West Coast now, so we can actually get it. But this actually may make me more interested in getting some In-N-Out from time to time.
The problem is, I think if someone wants a simple 30-day thing to do, if they just want to dip their toe into the water of health, don't eat gluten or bread for 30 days. I'm not anti-gluten or bread. I'll sometimes have some sourdough. I do not think gluten is this thing we should fear. Different people are going to have different ways that they can tolerate it.
Yeah, everyone's
But
body's
for
different.
many people, they're over-consuming bread. They're eating it at every single meal. You're waking up and having cereal. That's gluten. And then for lunch, you're having a sandwich. That's more gluten. And then for dinner, you're having pasta. That's more gluten.
Yeah.
You are going in on gluten. A lot of the wheat in this country is sprayed with glyphosate. There's other issues with it. So I would just recommend people really limit it for 30 days, see how they feel, and then integrate it back in and just control how you feel with it.
Yeah. So in the morning, you said that you drink water.
Yeah.
You know, I've always seen a basic thing anywhere on social media. It says, as soon as you wake up, drink a glass of water.
Absolutely.
What does that do for you?
Absolutely. So water gets your bowels moving. I've done some posts on this. If you're not pooping, okay, this is the thing. This is how our body gets rid of waste. If you're not pooping, and pointed at me,
You need to eat some prunes, boy. If you're not pooping, you need to eat some prunes.
like this is how our body detoxifies, and a healthy person should poop once to twice per day. Okay.
Wow.
And so many people, I did a post on it and it was astounding to me. Sometimes I get a little in my bubble of health. Everyone around me is pretty healthy and locked in. And people are like, no, I poop once every 4 days. What is going on? You are
4 days?
dehydrated. You are not consuming enough fiber. Something is
Now, if you're on the carnivore diet, you'll poop way less because we don't need fiber. But outside of that, 4 days is a long time.
off there.
What about
And
girls? They don't really poop.
They
Girls
never
don't
poop, right? Yeah, yeah.
So is that normal?
Yeah, that's so crazy, dude.
So like the
Phoenix.
problem is now
Now you gotta tell us how often you poop.
we have in young people a massive rise in colon cancer.
Oh wait, girls don't. I forgot.
In astonishing
What?
rates. Oh yeah, cancer researchers right now today are probably in some rooms
Twice a
where
day,
freaking
amen.
out because this is something that has skyrocketed and they don't really know why. Now obviously there's some things. There's a lack of fiber in our diet. There's a lack of hydration. There's way more processed foods. There's stuff like all these kids are doing all this nicotine now and we don't really know. We don't fully know the effects. If somebody's doing it to quit cigarettes, okay, you're doing the pouch to quit cigarettes or vapes.
But it's like cigarettes back before the early 2000s. Everyone was smoking cigarettes. They didn't know the effects it had on people.
Sure.
And now we're in the vape and nicotine world where
We're in the Zen world.
We're the
in
test.
Zen world, dude.
We're the test right now. Which
I
is,
am extremely skeptical of all of the propaganda, I would call it, of nicotine being this magic nootropic for our brain. I'm very skeptical. I really question people. Come on. You saw Big Tobacco. We saw the cigarette documentaries. Oh my God, they got everybody to smoke cigarettes.
Yep.
You think that just went away? You think that isn't involved right now in all these influencers promoting Zins everywhere? You think they just left? No, they're here. And they're good.
Snoop TT, 109 months. I appreciate you, brother. God bless you, absolute legend, man. Thank you, dude. Love you, big guy. How you doing, bro? 109 months. It's actually ridiculous, dude. That is literally absurd. Phoenix, we're watching a video talking about the sin of gluttony, hearing from a health expert who owns a company called Santa Cruz Medicinals, and it is very, very eye-opening. It really, really is. Guys, I'm going to hit the pause button right there. I'll edit this out. I'm not going to lie. I've been actually doing my divine dailies of drinking the proper amount of water. I gotta pee so bad. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real. Watch these clips. I'm back in a couple minutes, and then we'll finish the video.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Oh, Keg W, dude. Keg, not enough movement, dude. Feels like New Year's, whatever year that was, all over again, dude.
Get it, come on, baby. Show me what you got. Show me what, just move. If you got to know it, just move. It's all I want to see some movement. I'm not seeing enough movement.
We need to activate something very serious. All right, hold the phone. We gotta do something real quick. Because guys, if I let even a single NPC see me, I'm done, bro. I'm done. So we have to activate sneaky Souzy. We gotta be careful, dude. Because I'm telling you. All right, we're back. We are back. Yeah, that is one of the downsides of upping the water intake. Let's go. All right, back to it. Let's get it.
And they're intelligent, just like they were back then.
Yeah.
Just like they got our parents' generation smoking cigarettes. You think our parents were dumb? No. That we had doctors recommending cigarettes. And then we said, oh, they aren't that bad, and cool movie stars smoked them. I think that's just going towards Zins. And now, I would totally agree that the science does show that the smokeless oral pouches, if someone were to say, what's better, I have to smoke cigarettes or a vape, or I have to do the nicotine pouches, nicotine pouches are going to be a better option. That's what the science shows.
For sure.
However, there's concerning
I wouldn't recommend nicotine to anyone.
stuff about them. If you just want to look into the basics, they really ramp up your dopamine, your adrenaline, your norepinephrine, and this is why people like them. They take it and they go, oh, Bryce, I take that thing, I'm locked in, I feel good, I feel focused.
Is that anything to do with the neurogum? Or like
Neurogum is just caffeine.
Okay,
Yeah,
I want to ask you about that in a second.
Yeah, we'll get into caffeine for sure.
Oh,
Now, cigarettes, I've noticed in LA, have become an aesthetic piece now.
Oh yeah, they're cool.
Which
again.
is weird to me.
That's
like,
crazy.
It's like cigarettes were popular before the 2000s, and then I remember growing up, it was like the DARE program, don't do drugs, and don't smoke cigarettes. And then vaping became a thing. It started with the box vapes, and then it turned into the puff bars, and then now it's the Zins. And then now I'm like walking.
Yo, hearts and chat for D-Dog. God bless you. My name is Pastor Souzy. It is an honor and a privilege to meet you. I'm the real-life pastor of an online church for gamers, by gamers, called XP Church. And if you're looking for a positive community, a place where you can make friends, connect, but also discover the life-changing power of Jesus. No matter who you are, what you've been through, I believe Jesus loves you, cares about you. And if you want to ask questions, get prayer, please note this is a safe place for you to do so. Thanks for being here. Appreciate y'all. Hearts and chat with this new member. Welcome, friends. Good to have you.
Around in LA, and I'll like hear out at a restaurant, I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette outside, and it's not an older person, it's a young person.
No, it's coming back, and 90% of the time when I talk to those people, they go, well, what do you think about the nootropic effects? Nootropics are basically compounds that boost our brain function, right? And there's a whole class of them. You can take stuff like alpha GPC, you can take stuff like Bacopa, stuff like green.
I'm very curious his thoughts on this, because nootropics are in the advanced UGA drink, and I love them. But I'm very curious on his thoughts.
He has like nootropic effects, like amino acids have nootropic effects, like L-theanine, okay? I think, given that there are some studies showing tobacco has effects on our brain and nicotine has effects on our brain, that big tobacco has clombed onto this to push this narrative as tobacco as a nootropic. When the reality is, while it might have some nootropic effects, it's very stimulating. It can disrupt your sleep. So people are doing Zins at 9 p.m. and then they're going, I don't feel tired at 12. Why do you think? You just cranked up your norepinephrine, your adrenaline, you're cranked up.
Yeah.
What do you do? So like, it's wild to me that people don't see that connection. I have concerns about nicotine potentially causing colon cancer. Studies.
Okay, he didn't really say much about nootropic itself, except don't take them at 9 p.m., which I would agree. I don't drink advanced G at 9 p.m.
You need to be done on that. There's some cell culture studies showing that it can maybe increase oral cancer cells, but these are not studies done in humans yet. So I would be extremely concerned. I don't do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. Caffeine.
Yes.
Oh, guys.
If there's a vice,
Guys, he's coming for all of us.
in my life that is the worst,
Yeah.
it's got to be caffeine.
Okay.
Now, I'm not a coffee drinker. I'm an energy drink guy.
Yep.
But I don't drink the energy drinks for caffeine. That's the weird thing. I like a flavor bomb.
Yeah.
Huh.
So I like a nice little strawberry lemonade or something.
I am not sponsored, but if you guys don't know, he actually created his own energy drink company called Praise Energy. Praise, yeah, there's a hydration line. There's an electrolyte line. There's an energy line. I think it comes out in a couple days. Christian crack. That's crazy. Oh my goodness, Rockets. He's talking to Santa Cruz Medicinals, a health expert.
Something like that, which I think is why I like your electrolytes, because you got some great flavors.
Yeah, we got some good flavors there.
So you hit a sweet spot with me right there.
That's good.
Now, I have some personal rules when it comes to like my caffeine intake. I don't drink caffeine when I work out because I don't want to rely on it when I'm working out. I want all my lifting just to come from natural, pure strength.
Yep.
I don't even take a pre-workout powder. I don't know.
I've never done that stuff either.
I've never taken. I've taken 2 pre-workouts before, and it didn't even have beta-adenine in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally threw up. It was so strong.
Some of them are not.
Wow.
It was so strong. I threw up. I just parked my car in the middle of the street and was dry heaving out of my. It was crazy.
It's happened to a lot of people.
So that was crazy. And a lot of times I don't finish the Celsius.
Yeah.
I told you I'm not a sweet guy. So like, even though I like me a Celsius or an energy drink or whatever, I might sip on it a couple times. Now,
That's crazy.
about 2 months ago, we were working really hard a lot.
Yep.
And I drank minimum 1 a day.
Okay. Was it 1 a day or was it?
It might have been
More
2
than
a
one.
day. Could have been 2 a day.
Yeah.
And I'm saying and I'm just being honest. It could have been 2 a day, minimum 1 a day for sure. But there were some days I definitely had 2 a day. And I was grinding day and night, working and working. And so I just kind of want to run down. Is caffeine bad for you? If someone's going to drink caffeine.
Well, what he's talking about, and I'm assuming the guy's gonna touch on this. He just asked a pretty skewed question, right? He went into how he's drinking, he was drinking 2 energy drinks a day, and then asked, "Is caffeine bad for you?" Those energy drinks, Red Bull, Monster, those have way more in them than just caffeine. So I'm assuming that the guy's gonna touch on that. I hope he does. But those energy drinks are atrociously bad for you, man. Atrociously bad for you. But not just because of the caffeine, but because of all the other crap that's in them. And I'm assuming this guy is gonna touch on that too.
What should they drink? How much caffeine should they have? What are the, just give us the rundown.
Absolutely. I love this topic. Caffeine is not bad for you.
Nice.
I'll say that right there. In general, that's a general fair statement. Caffeine is not bad for you. It's the timing, the dosage, and how people use it that is having people cooked, bro. It is a problem, and we'll get into it. So caffeine has a half-life of about 5 to 6 hours. Depends on genetic factors, depends on how much somebody weighs, different things, right? But let's just call it 5 to 6 hours. What that means is that those amount of milligrams of caffeine are going to break down half in those hours, okay? So the problem I see with so many people is they bust open that Celsius or that last coffee, and maybe they're going to have it at 2 or 3 p.m., let's say, okay? Now it comes 10 p.m., let's say, and they want to go to sleep. 10, 11, they're like, yeah, getting tired, want to sleep. What is happening is that Celsius had, let's say, 150 milligrams of caffeine. So around the time they are trying to go to sleep, they're still going to have, it's a very person to person, let's just call it 75 milligrams of caffeine in their system, 50 to 75. Whoa. Okay? Let me ask you this. Right before you go to bed, what time do you usually go to sleep?
It depends. I'd probably say on average about 11 o'clock.
Okay, so it's 11, right? Let's say you had that Celsius at 2 or 3. If before bed I said, hey, Bryce, I lean over, I'm in the room, I'm knock, knock, knock. Do you want a 50 milligram pill of caffeine? You would go, get out of here. I'm not taking a 50 milligram pill of caffeine. I'm trying to go to bed.
Yeah.
You've basically just done that to your own body by having caffeine too late in the day.
Wow.
Whoa.
And it does disrupt sleep. There are people that say, oh no, I can fall asleep on caffeine. They've done studies on that. There was a study where they're like, oh yeah, people, they say they report good sleep, but they actually measure their sleep. They're not going into the same deep stages of sleep.
Like the REM sleep
Wow.
stuff.
Their sleep architecture is messed
Yeah.
up. Caffeine can mess with sleep architecture. I drink coffee. I like caffeine. I'm very disciplined about when I have it. So for me, it's like 9 to 11 a.m. So it's a few hours after I wake up, many hours after I wake up. I like to have a small amount of coffee.
Now, I have absolutely no problem falling asleep at night. But my wife cannot fall asleep for the life of her. And I wonder if it's how late she's drinking her caffeine. Now, she's only drinking it. She probably finishes her coffee at like, I don't know, maybe 3 o'clock or whatever. But I wonder if she should finish it sooner because of that. Interesting. That's pretty crazy, dude. Crazy, crazy, crazy.
A normal cup of coffee is going to be about 80 milligrams of caffeine. Stronger ones get into 100. And so I'm letting that burn off throughout the day, and I don't feel like it's affecting my sleep in a negative way.
Yeah.
Celsius, energy drinks, very popular now.
Yeah.
I have issue with an ingredient in there, and it is an artificial sweetener.
Okay.
There's many different types of artificial sweeteners, but I want everyone out there right now to grab their Monster energy drink, Celsius, whatever it is, and look at the back, and you will see an ingredient called sucralose. They did a study on young, healthy teenagers where they gave them sucralose for 6 weeks. The amount they gave them was often way less even that's in 1 can of Celsius, okay? So just a little bit of sucralose. They had one group drink that. It was double-blind, placebo-controlled, really well-done study. They had other people drink just water or whatever. In the group that drank the sucralose, they saw a significant reduction in a bacteria in our gut called acidophilus.
And just to confirm what I said earlier, Advanced GG, what I drink, does not have sucralose in it.
Acidophilus is one of the main bacteria that help our immune function, our brain function, our skin health, because you actually have like this skin microbiome. So it led me to be like, okay, sucralose, while it's not some like, oh my God, this is some evil thing if you have it once here. I'm like, well, people are drinking 2 or 3 Celsius a day and sucralose in so many things. It leads me to be very concerned for somebody's gut microbiome if they're consuming that. Yeah. Could they then supplement with some acidophilus, eat some Greek yogurt?
Oh, and I forgot, guys. Advanced GG actually changed, maybe about a year ago, changed the sweetener they use. They use something called erythritol now. I believe they used to use aspartame, but they don't use it anymore.
Sure. I could see that as maybe being a way to mitigate some of that damage, but that gives me some concern. So timing is everything. If you miss the window and it's maybe after 12, I would just not have the caffeine.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Are you a runner? Do you run?
I've gotten into running at certain times in my life.
I wish I liked running.
Me and my buddy, we love jujitsu.
Yeah, you guys stay pretty active on the jujitsu.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like jujitsu is a way for me to get that. You get that hard 45 to 60 minutes of cardio.
Yeah. Dude, I want to get back into jiu-jitsu so bad.
Yeah.
You know, so I like a run sometimes, but yeah.
It's great conditioning. Like, no one will ever... There's a lot of athletes out there that do a lot of sports outside of any martial art. But if you just get a 2-minute round, it gasses you out. You're looking at the clock and you don't realize there's still a minute 30
and
left.
especially, you know, I suck at it. We always joke we suck. We're not absolutely horrible, but in the rooms we're in, we're getting beat up. And when you're getting beat up, it's tiring. You have to fight.
It's not for me.
It's exhausting. But I like running sometimes. I think running's great.
That's great. Well, one last question for you before we close. And I think this is... You know, you've shared a lot of health info, which I think is very important. And I think we highlighted a lot of things that our generation is struggling with and have questions about. You said you're getting back into your faith.
Yep.
Where are you at with Jesus right now?
Great question.
I mean, I actually have a really interesting question for you.
Okay.
So I'm fully getting back on board. Jesus is in my life. God is in my life. I'm opening my Bible every single day while I'm doing my red light therapy. You guys might have seen on my Instagram stories. I have it right next to my red light. I'm like collecting cool like Bibles now. I was looking up, like I kind of want to buy that's like really expensive, but like a really old Bible. That's a sidebar. So I'm getting really interested in it again and actually studying the Bible.
Nice.
What I have like, I don't know, like an issue with or just a question is like one of my buddies he's Muslim. Do you have friends that are Muslim?
I have Muslim friends. I have atheist friends, Mormon friends, everything.
Do you think that because my friend is Muslim, like he will not make it to heaven?
Ooh.
Okay.
That's a deep question. It's caused me some struggle because like...
Knowing Bryce, he'll know how to answer this question.
Just like you, I'm sure you love these people. So how do you deal with that?
But this right here is why the need for discipleship, helping people learn and grow in their faith, is so important. So important. And here's why. Because here is this guy, and no shade on him. He said he's getting back into it, so he's learning, and he's asking questions. It's exactly what Christians should do. But what a important question to ask, and what a catastrophically important question to get wrong, especially if you have a platform. And because oftentimes we lack discipleship in Western American churches, we have people that claim to be followers of Jesus, but who would say like, oh yeah, my Muslim friends, like they'll go to heaven. And we can't even answer what really should be the most basic of Christian questions, that Jesus is the only way to heaven. So really great on this guy for asking the right questions. But that's why it's so important. We can't just win people for Christ. If I could go back and start ministry all over again, this is the biggest thing I would do. We can't just focus on winning more souls for Christ. We have to properly educate and disciple and equip the saints to know what all this really means.
Just like you, I'm sure you love these people. So how do you deal with that?
So Jesus makes a bold statement in John chapter 14, where he says, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Big deal right there. Because there's a lot of religions out there that say, yep, everyone's going to heaven. They're just on their own path. You know, if you're just a good person, do this. My issue with every religion, it's how good can you do to make it to perfection? It's work your way to perfection. Even, for example, in Islam, right? Like from a basic standpoint, they have 5 pillars, you know, give alms to the poor, pray 5 times a day, whole lot of different things. And there's a lot of Muslims that do things better than Christians are doing. A lot of Muslims are more generous than Christians.
Let that sink in.
A lot of Muslims pray more than Christians do. A lot of Muslims know a lot more facts about the Quran than Christians know facts about the Bible. So that's what I respect about my Muslim friends. But when it comes to the foundation of Christianity, it's significantly different than Islam. Every religion references Jesus in some way, shape, or form. Most of the time, him just being a good teacher or a good man. Like you said about science, science even acknowledges that Jesus was a real person.
Absolutely.
Christians worship Jesus as he's God. So that's a really big deal. Islam would say, don't worship Jesus, worship Allah. Jesus is not Allah. Christians say Jesus is God. There's a really big difference there. So if all the differences are there, that means they all can't be the same. They can't coexist. That means there can only be one way if they all contradict each other. And Jesus makes it very clear. If you put your faith and trust in me, you'll be united with me for an eternity. If you do not, you'll be separated from me. So if anyone does not put their faith and trust in Jesus Christ, I have to look at the Bible and say, they're not going to be united with God in eternity. That's just how I have to lay it out there.
That's fine. That's fair.
That idea right there motivates me to tell everyone about Jesus. Yeah, that's why I want to tell everyone about Jesus. Because Penn Jillette, one of the most famous magicians in Las Vegas, Penn and Teller, he's an atheist. And he says, you know what? If you're a Christian and you believe that Jesus is the only way and you're not telling people about him, I have a lack of respect for you.
That's a good
because
point.
if you believe he's the only way to get there and you're not telling people about it, I have a lack of respect for you. And that hit home for me.
Dang.
Yeah. Because if I believe that Jesus is the way, then
I forget what his name is, but one of the most famous atheists of all time. He says, if you really believe that apart from forgiveness of sins and a relationship with Jesus, that you will spend eternity far from God in hell. This question, paraphrasing here, how much would you have to hate people to not tell them about Jesus and how to not go there? How much would you have to hate them? A whole lot. And it's very, very eye-opening about the importance of sharing the gospel with people around the world. Yo, Christian Ninja, good to see you, man. What's his name? Dawkins? I forget his name completely, but it's very eye-opening.
I'm going to do my best to share Christianity, the Bible, Jesus Christ, with my Muslim friends the same I would the agnostic, the same I would Bill Gates, the same I would the homeless man. Because that's what I just love that about Jesus.
I really like that, and I think one thing we can definitely agree on, and something I can do and something you can do, is I think health goes right into that.
Absolutely.
So I think like you already are, but I think you should preach the message of health, and I think you're doing that. I think that's amazing and something I definitely do. Like you're saying, like if I know how good I feel and how the transformations I've seen in people, and I don't talk about health, then I'd be evil. So what I can do for you is talk more about Jesus and learn more about Jesus. And I want you to talk more about health.
Hey now, that's a fair trade.
You know, I think the easiest thing for me about the health thing is my health is stemmed from doing it for Jesus.
Yeah.
Because when I tried to do things for myself before Jesus, I would get burned out. It was easy to quit. I had nothing to lose. Oh, I can quit. No one will know. That happened to me when I got sick. I was 3 months in and got sick for a month, and I was like, I can quit and no one can know I'm going through a body transformation. And then I thought for a second, I was like, sure, I'm doing this for myself, but I'm really doing it for Jesus because I want to honor God with my body. And that changed it. So the fact that Jesus is my macro goal, where if I lost everything, he's still my everything. If I lost everything I had, I still have everything I need in him. Like that has made my health journey significantly easier. That has made my everything I do, my actions, serving, like people are inherently selfish, but the reason you gave me in a gift is because you've been loved by God, whether you you've been loved by God, so it's easy for you to serve and love other people. I've been loved by God. It was easy for me to say, hey, you like raw honey? Let me get you raw honey. Hey, what's your shoe size? You see what I'm saying? So like that has been for me a big deal. So I'll start diving more into health and talking more about health. And you start having more
awesome.
into
I
Jesus.
want to just share one thing.
I love that.
I know you'll do closing
They
prayer.
need both.
Sure.
And Rockets, that's what they're saying. Like, it's not one or the other. You need both. You need Jesus, but also want to take care of your physical body too. Man, what a great conversation, dude.
The one thing that I didn't get to share is Proverbs 23, 20, 21. Don't be a heavy drinker or stuff yourself with food. It will make you drowsy.
Yes.
I think for people right there,
Bro, I'm literally having flashbacks to like not even of super recent where I ate so much sugar and then just crashed after, bro. That's crazy.
this is my message to one of my main messages to people. If you want to be a good Christian, if you want to honor God and honor Jesus, you should not be unhealthy and pursuing unhealthy things. And you don't have to live like me. I'm a bit strict with my diet. I get it. But you do have to make a conscious effort for health and to pick people. If you are healthy watching this, you have to pick people up around you to help them, because it's clear in so many places in the Bible that this is what God wants and he's saying in the Bible. So I think, we really need a less crumble cookie runs after church. Maybe once a year if it's like a special occasion or whatever, but it shouldn't be a really normalized thing, you know?
Sorry, one more thing I want to talk to you about. Alcohol.
Yes.
Because you brought it up. There's a Bible verse I wanted to talk to you about. It's in Proverbs as well. He says, the drunkard and glutton come to poverty. And I remember I read Proverbs every month, so I recycle through it every month. And I remember reading that over and over, and I was like, what does that mean? What does that mean?
If you guys ever tried that practice, I'm not currently doing it, but I've done it in the past. It's really good. I should pick it up again. But he says you cycle Proverbs. There's 31 Proverbs in the book of Proverbs. And so you can read one for every day of the month. So like for example, today is July 7th. You would read Proverbs 7. Tomorrow's July 8th. You'd read Proverbs 8. July 9th, which is my birthday, you'd read Proverbs 9. And you can literally just do that every single day, and you'll read Proverbs over again. The wisdom in Proverbs is mind-blowing.
And then I saw it with my own eyes. People I knew getting extremely drunk.
Yep.
And when they got extremely drunk, what do? They got hungry.
Yeah.
And they started buying a load of food. DoorDashing the McDonald's. DoorDashing the whole 9 yards. And then I saw those same people complaining about their bank account, complaining about their health, complaining about their sleep. And it was like I'm watching that proverb unfold right in front of me.
Yeah.
Later on in Proverbs 31, King Lemuel, a king, his mom tells him, hey, if you're a leader or someone of high respect, it's probably wise that you stay away from alcohol.
Thanks, second lady.
Now, the Bible doesn't say that drinking is a sin. It says drunkenness is a sin, and to stay sober-minded, for it's a waste. Isn't it crazy how when you get drunk, you get wasted?
Yeah.
And not being sober-minded is a waste?
Yeah.
Crazy correlation there. So would love to hear like just about the bad benefits of, I could tell you family stories, like distant relatives they having alcohol addictions and like their brain shrinking and things like that. But just give the rundown on alcohol, because even in college students, 18 to 25, it's the second you go to college, let me drink as much as I can, as fast as I can, every
Freshman
night.
15.
Like, just give us a rundown on alcohol.
Oh man, there's a perfect one. We were just at San Diego State University yesterday.
Okay.
Getting somebody's dorm all healthy and dialed in, and
nice.
those kids are
Captain, I
drink
appreciate
a
it,
lot
brother. God bless
and
you.
do their thing.
Thank you so much,
I
man.
don't drink personally.
Welcome.
Just
How are you?
Let it go. Maybe once a year, once every other year, I might have a sip of something, but I don't drink.
Yeah.
Alcohol's one of the worst things you can put in your body for your health. No doubt about it.
Wow.
You have your body's master antioxidant called glutathione in your liver. It protects your skin. It protects your brain. It's amazing.
I'm curious his thoughts on like red wine.
Alcohol depletes that like nothing else does. It ruins your skin health. A lot of people are, vain. They want to look good for Instagram and stuff. Well, you're going to drink and ruin your skin health. Okay. It ruins your gut microbiome. It's horrible for you. There is new evidence coming out that even having a few drinks per week significantly lowers your brain volume. Okay. So like a lot of people have been pushed this narrative by the alcohol industry that, drinking a lot's bad, but, actually having a couple drinks is good for your stress levels. It's not true. Your actual anxiety goes down very short term when you drink, and it comes back more. You actually basically build the capacity to have anxiety through drinking.
Whoa.
You build a higher capacity for anxiety. And when you experience a hangover, you're actually going through alcohol withdrawal. So I would really urge people to, dude, so many young people are addicted to weed, addicted to alcohol. It's insane. And like, you know, if you're young and I can't, you know, when I was 19, 20, 21, like I messed around with these substances and stuff like that. And you really need to look at how you use them and at least know what is good and bad for your body. Because people get into this thing of, oh, well, I drink in college, but now I need to have 1 drink per day because it's good for my stress.
Yeah.
It's not. Don't do that.
No, I love that you said that because I think the same reason people turn to an unhealthy lifestyle could be the same reason they turn to drugs.
Yeah.
Same reason they turn to alcohol is because they've got this hole in their heart and they're trying to fill it.
Yeah.
And I just shared last night with a group of young adults in Georgia. I said, if you want to know what you worship, look at the things you turn to when you're going through it.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people, that could be food. A lot of people, that could be drugs. A lot of people, that could be alcohol. And I just love how you just kept harping on that point of like, you don't know how good you can really feel physically.
Absolutely.
If you just honor God with your body and your health.
Get addicted to good stuff. I'm addicted. I need to go surf. I haven't surfed in a few days. I'm like, I cannot wait to surf. I'm addicted to it. I might put off some work that I need to get done to go surf. But guess what? It's something that connects me with nature, connects me with God. I feel great and it's healthy.
Yeah.
I'm addicted to working out. I'm addicted to eating well. These are things that benefit me though and benefit other people. So we have.
And I get what he's saying. I wouldn't recommend being addicted to anything, but I get the principle. If you're gonna have a draw to something, be drawn to something good.
Addictive personalities, like our human instinct, our biological reward system does like reward that type of behavior in a way.
Yeah.
So you better find stuff that you love that's healthy. You're addicted to what you do.
Yeah.
If someone told you that one of the worst things I could do right now would be like, you can't go preach, you can't go film, you can't go put out this message. That would be one of the worst things I could tell you.
Yeah.
You are addicted in a way to that.
In a way,
and luckily, you're not addicted to stuff that harms you and harms others. Everything that you do uplifts people.
Dang.
So yeah, and I know we got to close. I just want to say a sincere thank you. Because like, dude, what you do is so beneficial for people. It's unbelievable. And I don't think people like you and I really can grasp how many people, we can't see all the messages, you know, it's like whatever, we just can't see it. How many people really struggle with deep stuff and through your content, they get out of that hole. And that's amazing. So thank you.
Bro, I appreciate that. Thanks for the encouragement, bro. Let me pray for us. Thanks for coming on the pod.
Of course.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm like,
anytime,
I can't wait to listen back to this because there was so much good stuff.
I love
in
it, man. Yes.
So-
Go get healthy, people.
Let me pray for us. Jesus, thank you so much for today, God. Thank you for Brendan. Thank you for his wisdom and his kindness and his goodness, God. Would you just bless him, God? We just ask that you would soften the heart and the ears of each and every person watching or listening to this episode. Would you allow the beautiful practicality and wisdom of health and discipline to seep into people's hearts and not allow it just to be a moment, but allow it to affect their lifestyle in a healthy way. God, we thank you. We love you. We praise you. God, thank you so much. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Guys,
Sheesh. Bro, what a convicting yet eye-opening conversation about food, man. So eye-opening. I need to make some real changes in my life. Not only so I can be healthy, I don't want to have food to have control over my body. To be honest, I think this conversation is an important one for the gaming community. Again, friends, not every stereotype is true, but after doing gaming ministry for 11 years, I can say this, myself included. I'm like 50 pounds overweight, so this is me included. I'm going to go on a limb and say 80 to 90% of the gamers I end up meeting in person are overweight. Now, that's also an American problem too, but in the gaming community, almost all of us struggle with our weight. Almost. Again, there's exceptions. Not everyone is true. But after doing this for 11 years, and I've met in person hundreds of members of the community, and almost always, the biggest thing we share in common isn't even our faith. It's the fact that we're overweight. And even saying that aloud is a wild statement. And I want to do something about it. I want to get healthy, which is why I really encourage people, like, if you're not already, you can start very simply by just practicing your divine dailies. Just practicing your dailies. These are simple ways that you can start small habits that will drastically transform your life. Of getting better habits that will just transform your life. Reading the Bible, a little bit of exercise, a little bit of intentionality of what you eat, it'll go a long way. But what I'm realizing for me, what I need is I really need accountability. I need accountability. We need community where you can grow in your faith, get connected. So if you're here and you want to join a church for gamers where you can experience community, but also come to know God and have other people that are on a similar journey of following Jesus to grow in all the areas of your life, join the Discord, link in the description below, get connected. We have our services every single Saturday, but honestly for me, church is not what happens on Saturday. That's a part of what we do. It's the community, the fellowshipping, the growth, the discipleship, the growing that happens throughout the week. You do not have to do life alone. Faith is not meant to be a single player game. Come join a multiplayer journey, following Jesus together. Link in the description below. Let's get healthy together.